Today we're going to be combining 3D printing and some simple materials to create a stool for my workshop. The big test we'll be seeing if the 3D printed joints are strong enough to take my body weight, and the results are not what you'd expect. I'll also be keeping the joint design as simple as possible with a strict material budget of $50 for everything, so make sure to watch to the end to see the final cost. Anyone with access to 3D printing and some basic tools should be able to make this. I'm really hoping we don't go over the $50 budget. Let's make sure to keep a running total throughout this video. I started off by marking the plywood for the cuts. This was a difficult shape to cut out with simple tools. With the basic shape of the seat done, I move on to the router for the difficult part. I gave the edges a quick chamfer to reduce the visual weight of the plywood. This is me doing my best impression of a CNC machine. I'm not sure why I thought this was a good idea for me to cut out this shape when such a high level of accuracy is needed, but I eventually got there with some patience. In order to cover up some of those imperfections, I decided to print a thin lip to go over the edges. It worked out pretty well. Next step was making the legs. I wanted these joints to be a little bit too tight rather than too loose, so there was a little bit of sanding to do. I got lazy and decided to let my drill do most of the work. I then had to round off the bottom of the legs so that they would contact the ground cleanly when they are at a slight angle. It also looks a bit nicer. A couple of fasteners later and we have some legs. So here you have it, here's the finished assembly or the first test. I'm happy with the aesthetic. The joints flow well into the two pieces of material. The dowel and the plywood feel visually balanced against each other. I like the color combination of the white plastic and the light wood. The fasteners are mostly hidden. I proceeded to test some of the features a little bit more and get some shots of me pretending to use it. It's convincing, right? Now for the real test, the functionality test. It's crazy that just some simple 3D printed joints can be this strong. I'm also wondering if this thing will hold up over a long period of time. So although it's holding my weight, there seems to be a little bit of instability. I think this may be a big problem if I'm not being careful every time I sit down. I'm thinking we should be able to fix that if we add an extra brace in the middle. I'm also going to add some more storage features. So most of the instability is coming from too much play in the legs and the joints. We can minimize this with some struts that run parallel to the seat. Did actually start to feel a little bit more sturdy, slightly less wobble, definitely slightly less anxiety whilst I was seated. Something I'm really obsessive over is making sure my work surfaces are clear for work. This means finding clever storage solutions that are easily accessible. So for this seat, I want to add some small hidden storage features. I'm looking to have a seat for my rear and my gear. I came up with this really simple solution, but I'm not sure if it's going to work or not. I wanted to make sure it had a low profile and didn't disrupt the form of the stool too much. Also, I didn't want to over-engineer the sliding mechanism, so I'm hoping the tracks with just some friction will be enough. It actually works quite nicely and feels pretty smooth to push in and out. Here's some more shots of me doing some great acting, pretending to use the trays. So there we have it, the 3D printed stool. Total of $43.21. We came in under budget. This was actually a really fun build, and honestly I feel excited about what else I can make using these techniques. There's so many possibilities just using the simple dowels and 3D printed joints. I was thinking of so many other ideas whilst making this project. There is a lot of ways that this stool could be better, but I'm thinking this stool will be the first in a long series of 3D printed projects.